What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. I am your host, Michael Cake, and today we're going to talk about Snoop Dogg because he said some interesting things about the NHL and the Ottawa Senators. Let's unpack it. Let's start with the NHL, and he makes a great point as he says that they don't know how to market, like McDavid. He's the number one player in the NHL. Why doesn't he have commercials everywhere? That was his quote. He went on to then say if he owned the Ottawa Senators, his stars would get the publicity that they deserve. I think that's huge that somebody as big as Snoop Dogg who wants to buy the Ottawa Senators would come out and say this. I think the NHL has done a terrible job of marketing their league, their players, their teams, everything. They've done an absolutely awful job at it. For example, Stadium Series this year, they didn't even market it at all. Like, I didn't even know what was happening till the day of when the Washington Capitals were playing the Hurricanes. I didn't even know what was happening when it was happening and what the teams were, honestly, until the day that it happened. And suddenly it was like, oh, suddenly, these outdoor games are happening. Um, as well as their stars, they never ever market their stars. They focus on it being a team game, but they don't promote the players that bring them some money. So that obviously in the past they promoted Crosby, Ovechkin, and Kane, but they've slowly stopped doing that with even them, and they don't market players like McDavid or Robertson or even Kucherov or Pasternak or Drysdale. They don't market those players in any shape or form. It's always the networks like Sportsnet, TSN, ESPN. Even they don't even do much, but they still even then TNT and all those other places also just market players better. They always make those features on the players, but the NHL itself doesn't market their players enough. Therefore, they're not going to have players bring in the amount of money that they want to because there's no eyes on the product enough. There's not going to be enough US Americans or Canadians or Europeans or all these types of people having eyes on your products because you don't promote your players or your teams at all. The NBA, the NFL, soccer, and even MLB promote their stars, but the NHL refuses to do it because they think it's a team game. So they need to focus on the team aspect of it and not focus on their stars who will bring in money. They only market 20% of the American population. I can't imagine it's any higher than that in Europe or in the NHL in Canada. Canada obviously is going to be a little bit different because they have Sportsnet and TSN always following it, and they always have people watching it in Canada because Canada's their number one market because Canada loves hockey. But 20% of the population out in America is insane because if you think about it, the majority of the teams are going to be in the States. They should promote it way more there, and this will bring more viewership into the NHL that they just did not have before. Obviously, I'm trying to say this off the top of my head, so if I'm stumbling, I apologize. It just makes it very difficult for them to promote what they want to do. And if they want to be in the upper echelon of sports, they can't do it because they don't market anything that these other sports do. Like they make way less than all these other every leagues every year. And I don't know if it's after Bettman retires or I don't know what it is, but this just needs to become something that goes past the passionate NHL fans. That people need to be established more. The stars need to be established more so that you can have more people come in and watch your product. And that's just not going to happen outside of your passionate fans. If you want to bring in outside people, you got to promote what makes hockey great. And just don't do that. The NHL doesn't do that. So where does celebrities come into this? So Snoop Dogg, Ryan Reynolds, and now The Weeknd have all shown interest in the Ottawa Senators, and they can bring a lot of eyes to the NHL as fans that follow these people, maybe follow what they potentially do with an organization. So that could be huge for the NHL in bringing in, new eyes to the NHL. And Snoop Dogg, I don't have very much on Ryan Reynolds and what he said. The Weeknd literally came out like a couple of hours ago. So I don't have any quotes from them saying what they want to do with it. So I don't want to talk about them in case I say something wrong about them. So let's just talk about what Snoop Dogg said to The Athletic. Snoop Dogg said he wants to market the Ottawa Senators better and kind of, in result, using that as a stepping stone for the rest of the NHL, which is huge for the NHL, is that it brings more eyes to the NHL in general, and that could potentially make it so if one team brands super well and it's very marketable, that every other owner in the NHL will see that they are bringing in more money because of their marketing, and they will see that and use it for their team. So, for example, the Flames, if they see that Ottawa is very profitable, they could also make it more marketable as well. Or the Oilers with McDavid and Draisaitl, that's their chance that they could potentially make it so that they're more profitable because they are going to market their stars more. And the Ottawa Senators definitely need this because they've been the capital of Canada, obviously, for very long. And they're kind of the lower echelon of Canada teams. They had bad ownership for a long time. They had people that wanted to move them out of Ottawa. They had bad GMs. They haven't won a Stanley Cup yet. They obviously made it to the Cup final in 2009. No, 2007. Doesn't matter. But, they just want to have fans there that want to win in Ottawa, and they need to have somebody who's willing to do that. And Snoop Dogg is willing to do that. Ryan Reynolds is definitely going to want to do that. And again, the weekend, I don't really know a whole bunch about it, but I just know he's interested now. But, he wants to bring in more marketable people that will help market the Ottawa Senators the way they deserve to be marketed. Tim Stützle, Brady Tkachuk, two big players on this team need to be profited off of better, and using marketing to do that would make it better. He also says he wants to have younger people who look like him see that they can play in the NHL because they see an owner who is of color as an owner in the NHL. I think that's also huge because Snoop Dogg would be a partial first African American owner, and that would be absolutely fantastic for the NHL. I think they need to branch out more and do those kind of subsidies. Obviously, women should also be involved in the NHL more. So, we've seen over the years, there's been more and more people of color in the NHL. PK Subban, Wayne Simmons, Quinn Byfield, those kind of players are going to be huge for the NHL going forward because they have more diverse players in the NHL. They already have players from Europe all across it. Russians are great, Czech players, Finnish players, Swedish players. So having more diversity in your league is also going to help you marketability wise to be able to say, oh, hey, we have this that not a whole lot of leagues have. So being able to show that is also huge. And Snoop Dogg also said he wants to help as a community activist for the Senators, which when he goes into the community and work with kids and help more make hockey bigger in Ottawa, most likely the rest of the world. And that is also very exciting to me because I think that they could also use that as a stepping stone for the rest of the league as well. Like, having an owner that's more hands-on with the community, somebody that's going to be more hands-on with kids and make hockey bigger in their city is going to be huge for the NHL, bring more eyes to the NHL. And I think Snoop Dogg is going to be somebody that could potentially be amazing for the NHL. Obviously, if you can't get the Ottawa Senators, maybe he goes and takes a different role somewhere else. Maybe he just becomes an NHL community activist in general. Snoop Dogg could be somebody that promotes a lot of different things. But I think the biggest thing is that Gary Bettman doesn't know how to promote his league. And I think that celebrities like Snoop Dogg and Ryan Reynolds on the weekend could definitely help that. And I think they could definitely make the NHL more marketable. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Who do you want to see own the Senators, Snoop Dogg, Ryan Reynolds the weekend, or somebody else? Whatever you want to do with that team, let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys all for watching. And I will see you all later.